Everyone. Hare Krishna, everyone. Welcome to Srila Prabhupada Book Reading Club. Currently, we are reading the book Lord Chaitanya, His Life and His Teaching, and we are at a very confidential part where, Lord Chaitanya and Ramaranda Rai are discussing about advancing in spiritual knowledge. So this is very important discussion, and even you are, if you want to take the initiation, this question they are going to ask from these books. You know, his bigger version is the teachings of a Lord Chaitanya, and that book we are reading is the just a summary of this book, and this book is a summary of Chaitanya Charitamrita, and which is divided in Adi Leela, Madhya Leela, and Anta Leela. Okay, so yes, this is very important part. That's why we need to go in little depth now, because it is just covering 4 or 5 pages. So we are reading from this book, Teachings of the Lord Chaitanya. Okay, so let's start our session with offering our prayers to our acharyas and Krishna and Radharani. Okay, ॐ ज्ञानतिमिरन्धस्य ज्ञानञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरं मिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। श्रीचैतन्यमनोभीष्टं स्थापितं येन भूतले स्वयं रूपं कदा मह्यं ददाति स्वपदान्तिकं। वन्देऽहं श्रीगुरु श्रीयुतपदकमलं श्रीगुरून् वैष्णवांश्च श्रीरूपं साग्रजातं सहगण रघुनाथान्वितं सजीवम् साद्वैतं सावधूतं परिजन सहित कृष्ण चैतन्य देवं श्री राधा कृष्ण पादान् सह गण ललिता श्री विशाखान्वितांच। हे कृष्ण करुणा सिंधु दीनबन्धो जगत्पते गोपेश गोपिका कांत राधा कांत नमोस्तुते। तप्त कांचन गौरांगी राधे वृंदावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये। वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्य एव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभो नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्त वृंद। नमो विष्णुपादाय कृष्ण प्रेष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्ति वेदांत स्वामिन इति नामिने। नमस्ते सरस्वते देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात देश तारिणे। हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे। श्रीला प्रभुपाद की जय। So just give me 1 minute. So yes, in last chapter we have seen in 27th chapter we said Lord Chaitanya and Ramananda Rai, how they meet, how the Lord Chaitanya he firstly they are doing the discussion Lord Chaitanya come to Jagannath Puri in the temple, he become the in a ecstasy, he become unconscious. So a Sarvabhaum Bhattacharya took the Lord Chaitanya to his home, and he studied what are the symptoms of being in ecstasy, in a loving relationship with the Jagannatha and the Lord Krishna, what symptoms a devotee shows when they are in a transcendental bliss. He was studying. Why he was studying? So there are many people who impose themselves, they are big devotees, and they are fake this devotional symptoms so that they can recognize this. Okay, then he also he was the Vedantist, and he starts speaking about a lot of things about the Vedantas. Then Lord Chaitanya said, okay, whatever you are speaking, but this Vedanta sutras, they are directly coming from Lord Krishna. How they are directly coming? Because the Lord because the Vyasadeva is the incarnation of a Vishnu, na? And and so this Vedanta sutras are like a sun. They are so there is lot of light and sparkling. but like whatever you are speaking, you are not giving the right the meaning. You are interpreting, and whatever exams you are examples from which you are trying to explain the Vedanta sutras, like you are not giving the conclusion, or you are diverting the people from the main knowledge. So like Lord Chaitanya is saying, saying that you are like this Vedanta sutras are like a sun, and like you are covering the sun with your interpretation and misconceptions cloud. So you should give them, like it doesn't need any explanation, or your own mental speculation. They are more than enough than itself. Okay. So then Lord Chaitanya said that Lord Chaitanya reject his Vedanta's knowledge by this. Then like Sarvabhaumya Bhattacharya said that there is one very pure devotee whose name is Ramananda. Right. So Lord Chaitanya take he's traveling in the south now. So he's take the darshan of a Jivera Narsimha Setra, and he goes towards the banks of a Godavari, and like he was in full of ecstasy. Why he was in ecstasy? Because the river Godavari flowing, he used to he imagined that, or he think that this is not a Godavari, this is the Yamuna, and like this is not an ordinary forest. These are the forest of Vrindavana. Simply by thinking about the Yamuna Maya, and simply by thinking about the forest of Vrindavana, like a Lord set in the ecstasy. And like when he take the bath in a Godavari, and like he see that like some very like a grand person is coming with the all of music bands, and accomplished by the many brahmanas. So plus generally we see that na sannyasi shouldn't meet a political leaders, and some government officials or some wealthy person. Why he shouldn't meet? Because their mental state is like, okay, how I will become rich, and how should I solve this political issue. They are completely entangled in these things, and they have no taste for the spiritual realization. Then devotees or sannyasis, why they should wait like on this? Because like in association, like we get the desires and we get the habit. If we associate too much with the material people, we will get the same material desires. And but on other hand, when we associate with the uh, associate with the pure devotees, then we will have the spiritual desires. Okay. So, and there is another thing now, it is very hard to approach these political leaders, because yes, we are reading one book now. Firstly you have to cross where there are a lot of big dogs, and there is the board like be aware of the dogs, and then there are many security guards. Then you have to pass this security. So, but it is very easy to entangle, sorry, to enlighten one ordinary person who is having the faith in Krishna than convincing these political leaders. And it is very hard him, and all kinsmen are depending on him. Like they think in that this way. But what is the reality? Reality is that everything is just given by Krishna. So we have to utilize, if someone give you this pain, so you have to use the pain. And then after that you have to give the pain, and in mind we should we should remember that this pain is given me by this person, so I have to return this, and I have to engage in his service. Okay. So similarly, everything we have, it is given by Krishna. So, but Krishna has given you independence. Either you can use or utilize this person, whatever assets you have in Krishna's service, or in your sense gratification. In sense gratification, there is fall down, but when you engage in Krishna's service, we become liberated. Okay. So even he is a political leader, he offered the obeisances to the Lord Chaitanya. And how Lord Chaitanya can embrace this political leader. And he's not convinced by the whatever amount, how knowledge he has, or how great Ramananda Rai is, or how much power Ramananda Rai hold. He embraced the Ramananda Rai because he is the pure devotee. So Lord doesn't see how much reach you have, the how much a power you have, how much material assets you have. Lord sees like your eternal change, your internal change, what you are on a plane of a pure devotional service, or you are developing love for Krishna. Krishna appreciate that. Krishna doesn't want the external things. So even like he is the Shudra, no? Like he is not only the government officer, like he's the he has very high post in government, but on other hand, he is also Shudra. Though and like Lord Chaitanya also see na, when they are starting embracing, and he is the pure devotee of Lord Krishna, and Lord Chaitanya is a pure devotee, Lord Chaitanya is a Krishna. So when they meet each other, they are start feeling it's like their home, and they are embracing in ecstasy, and this Brahmanas. Like Krishna sits in everyone's heart as a Paramatma. So he knows everything about us. He knows every single desire arise in our mind. So he can read and see the minds of these brahmanas and associates, that he is the Shudra, and how sannyasi can embrace the Shudra, and how sannyasi can embrace the government officer, and even he is at a big government position. By embracing, how he start crying. So Lord Chaitanya sees these conditions are not favorable, so he pacifies himself. So yes, we apply application part is that when we don't have that much faith, we don't we are not that much not that much fixed in devotional service. So at the time we don't have to show our bhakti openly, because they will, there people are there to harass us. And when everyone is harassing you about that, your devotional service, so why you are leaving onion garlic, why you are leaving this and that, why you are leaving non-veg, or why you have treat the give up the tea and coffee, or why you are applying the tilak. Starting in first, we have to increase our faith, and we have to purify ourselves, and when there is a little purification of us, we are fully dedicated, then we can show externally. But in starting, we have to keep it the bhakti as a secret. Okay, because in starting, when people say na, we can give up the bhakti, but when we have the full dedication, when you have full trust, when we have full faith, then even people say okay, I give you 1 million and give up the bhakti, then also you are not going to give up. But in starting, we are in starting, we are tend to give up. Okay, so yes, further they said that then the Ramananda Rai said, we can meet in the evening, because in our in day maybe he have to do his prescribed duties. So in evening they take bath and they seated, and Ramananda Rai has to ask the question how we have to advance in the spiritual knowledge. But Lord Chaitanya himself asked, please quote some verses from the scriptures about the ultimate goal of human life. So what is the ultimate goal of human life? To seek more and more comforts in this material life, to become wealthy, or to get to understand, yes, we are in a miserable condition, and we have to get out of this miserable condition, and we have to understand who am I, who is Lord, and what is relationship between me and the Lord, and where I am, and how I have to get out this miseries, and yes, what are the real problems. Real problem is birth, old age, disease. These are the real problems, na? Death is these are real problems. Whatever economical problems, they are not actually real problems. Okay, so then Raman Rai start quoting from the Shastra. So from the Vishnu Puran, he quoted one verse that says, the person who sincere in his occupational duties gradually develop the sense of God consciousness. So simply by doing prescribed duties, he can develop the sense of God consciousness. But Lord Chaitanya rejected this. Why? Because yes, there are four classes: Brahmanas, Kshatriyas, Vaishyas, Shudras, and we have to go through the four stages. That we have to go through the Brahmacharya, student life, then Grihastha, then Vanaprastha, and then renounced order, which is the sannyasa. Yes, in each ashrama there is some rules and regulation. Simply by following rules and regulation, we are not going to get the Krishna. So yes, and then a character of a person is a person develops by following regulative principles. So yes, why we are following the four regulative principles? By following the four regulative principles, can we get the Krishna? No, we are not going to get the Krishna simply by the following the four regulative principles. We are following that, so we come to the platform of a human. These four regulative principles, just simply come, they are just so that we can simply come to the platform of a human being. So when we come on the platform of a human being, then we have to like we have to cross this tamaguna to rajaguna, then satoguna, and like after satoguna, on the satoguna platform, we can practice, like we can start purifying like our actions, and like real devotional service like starts like when you bypass this satoguna, we go to the shuddha sattva guna. Okay, so like at least we have to come on the platform of a satoguna. So simply by the following rules and regulation, Krishna reject this, Lord Chaitanya reject this, because like they are external. Internal there is no change. Nah? Like similarly, we are like attending Mangalati for like years and months, like we are chanting, but there is no taste. Like there is no something like there is no attachment, because we are discharging them externally. Internally, we are not developing anything. But like yes, also we read in our last book, na, Kalena, with the time you will become perfect. So like why we are become perfect? Because we are following the instruction of our spiritual master. If you simply follow the instruction of spiritual master, by his mercy, and like when we become purified, we can develop the taste for the hearing and chanting. Okay, so yes, like simply by following the rules and regulation, like Lord Vishnu is also not satisfied by simply performing the penances. Like Lord Vishnu is satisfied when there is a internal change, when we develop the love for Lord Krishna or love for the Lord Vishnu. Okay. So yes, like what is the highest goal of a human life is to develop the loving relationship with the Lord Krishna. And like how we can develop the loving relationship, like by rendering the transcendental loving service. Okay. Then like we move to the chapter 28, where like what is the name of chapter 28? Relationship with the Supreme. Okay, like still now, okay, like we can render service when there is a relationship. Na? So yes, like we should know, and like why we would love someone until there is a relationship. So yes, it is important to have relationship with the Supreme Lord. And when we are chanting every morning, Krishna comes and sit with in the front of us, and Krishna sees with what sincerity, like how much effort. Okay, his mind is going here and there, but how much efforts he is putting simply to take my name, and like simply to associating how much he desire. Like we have to call our name in a such a way that like a drowning man, like his water is above his head, and like he is calling out, oh please someone help. Okay, like a similar condition is of us now, like we are not just in the water, but we are like drowning in the ocean of this material suffering and this material world. So we have to call out the Krishna, and like this should be our attitude to calling Krishna, please protect us, please purify me, and like please engage me in your service. So like with this attitude we have to like take the holy name, then only it's going to like attract the attention of Lord Krishna. Okay, so Lord rejected this. Then like then Ramananda said that then like okay, like simply by doing our activities, like they are simply following the prescribed duties, we are not going to get Krishna. Then renounce all the activities, take the renunciation, because in a like a Bhagavad Gita, Krishna said, na, like a sarva dharma paridyecha mamekam sharna vraja. Give up everything, like give up all the dharmas, simply surrender to me. And even in a Bhagavatam, na, like 11 canto, second chapter, 36 shloka, like what is in that shloka, that one should submit everything in and his fruitive activities, body, mind, speech, intelligence, soul, modes of nature, to the supreme personality of Godhead Narayana. So here also it is said you have to give up give up everything, you have to take the renunciation. But uh, but Lord Chaitanya also rejected. Why Lord Chaitanya rejected this? Because like okay, you are renouncing everything, but like what about, okay, externally you are giving up everything, what about the like internal things, like even if you renounce, but you don't have the attachment to lotus feet of Krishna, like to the transcendental loving service of Lord Krishna, and like you haven't detached yourself from this material entanglement, then like how like then what is the use of this sannyasa? Okay, like like in starting life we have to like, oh, like this material things, like we are simply entangled with this material things. Okay, let's take sannyas. Why to entangle ourselves in this? But this is premature sannyas, and like Lord Chaitanya, Lord Krishna doesn't like appreciate this, na. Like when you can take the sannyas, when you are fully convinced that okay, my only aim is to serve the Lord Chaitanya, serve Lord Krishna, and like okay, I have and you have completely detached from all the material things, and like you are to like you are attached so much to the transcendental loving service of a Lord. And like you have not only that, but you are also purified, because like we mentally speculate, okay, I am become a pure devotee, I don't have this material desires, but like inside our heart there is still some desires, na. Like for that you have, firstly you have to purify yourself, second you should develop the detachment from these material things, and third is like you should have extreme, which is the most important, you should have extremely attached to the loving service of Lord Krishna. Then only you can take the sannyas. And in our case, we are not at the stage. So like we shouldn't take the premature sannyasa. Even if when we have seen there are many sannyasis, they simply wear the saffron and they smoke, or even like some in the people, some sannyasis like you in the society, they are women hunters. So like why they are doing all these activities, because they are not purified, they doesn't have this detachment attachment. So these things are like worse, na. Rather than this, like even like Prabhupada in many exam, like in many purports he quotes, na, like grahastha and someone who is renounced, they can be equal when they follow the rules of this prescribed ashramas. And like yes, like even if you are in a grahastha life, you can render loving service to Krishna. So like yes, Lord Chaitanya rejected this sannyasa and renunciation by giving up, in which we have to give up everything, because like even if you are giving up everything, but like you still you don't have idea to like how I have to get out of this material entanglement. So then further, further he then further Lord Chaitanya also reject this. Then he also said, it is also written, he also given the explanation from the Bhagavad Gita chapter 18, 66 sloka, like we have to abandon all the various religions and just surrender to me, I shall deliver you from all the sinful actions. So like renunciation is not sufficient, okay, we must have the positive engagement. What kind of positive engagement? Chanting name, hearing the Harikratha, reading the scriptures, and like we have to pre-reach. This is this is some a thing practically apply. So yes, these are the practical engagements, and like yes, doing the services. And also, as Lord Chaitanya rejected this third proposal, then like Ramananda quoted some verses from the Bhagavatam, and like also from the Bhagavad Gita chapter 18, 54 sloka, that okay, Brahman realization is Brahman realization is the best, and like is best after this. But like Lord Chaitanya also rejected this Brahman realization. Why he rejected? Because like even you are in a Brahman realization, you are uh, you are over emphasizing the feature of an impersonalist, na? Krishna is an impersonal Brahman, and like I have to merge in a Brahman. In Brahman, like okay, like alone without any activity, we cannot simply sit in the one room. So because we need to exchange rasas, we need to have some relationship. So they again fall down to the material world. And this is why Lord Chaitanya rejected this, because in Brahman realization there is no full knowledge. Yes, there is an impersonal Brahman, which is the light of Lord Krishna. After that, you know, there is a Paramatma feature, Lord Krishna, personally stays in everyone's heart. And after this realization, there is, which is the highest realization, which is the Bhagwan realization. With the Bhagwan realization, we can go to the spiritual world, which is the beyond this Brahmin, and we can render the service to Lord Krishna. We can relish the rasas with the Lord Krishna. Okay. Hare Krishna, please take care of your mics, okay? Because there will be little noise, na, and like the devotees may get disturbed. So yes, so this is not a complete knowledge. Then then what and also like this Brahman, this yogis na, they try to remove all the thoughts from mind, but this is not possible. We cannot void our mind, but like here is a glass the thing is that it should be filled with the water or any fluid. So we have the choice now, okay, we have the material desires, so we have to remove the material desires, but at the same time we have to add the spiritual desires. So yes, there are many material thoughts, but if you're practicing the spirituality, if you are hearing, when you are chanting, when you are reading, like this, automatically whatever the material thoughts we have, they are going to like they are going to transfer to the spiritual things or spiritual thoughts. So this meditation is also not good thing, or like Brahman realization also is not a perfect realization. Then so Lord Chaitanya rejected the devotional service mixed with the fruitive activities, and also the when you are start mentally speculating things, Lord Chaitanya also reject them. And all of these things are they help you. These are a gradual process now, but it will take the lifetimes. And why we have to suffer for the this much lifetimes, or thousands and crores of lifetime. We can practice the Krishna consciousness or devotional service within this life, and we can purify us, and within this life we can go back to the Godhead. We don't have to suffer more. Okay. And what Lord Chaitanya says, like rather by going through these gradual processes, like let them remain whatever condition they are, but engage them in hearing activities of Supreme Lord. So let's simply by engaging ourselves in hearing the Hari Katha, chanting the holy names, reading the transcendental books from the authorized devotees, then we can go back to the Godhead. So we don't have to do the karma kanda, then jnana yoga, then we don't have to take the steps, but rather on other hand we can simply take the lift, and we can reach our supreme supreme abode simply within this life, simply by following the words of our acharyas. Okay. So yes, and for the pure devotional service, we have to free from the material desire, fruitive activities, and speculative attempts, and we simply have to concentrate upon the favorable execution of our devotional service, pure devotional service. And yes, we are acting okay, I'm acting I'm working for a pleasure of Lord Krishna, some siddhir haritoshanam, but in my way. So this is not good now. Like Krishna is saying what he likes, what he doesn't like, what is good and what is bad. So we have to like uh, serve him favorably as he wants, not as our mind want. Okay. And currently we are disturbed. So we are not actually who we are. We are the soul, but we are hearing to the mind. This our mind is not like us now. So we are rendering service to our mind, but not to the Lord Krishna. And every time we have the choice now in yesterday's quote also, every time we have the choice to choose between Maya and Krishna, but every time we are choosing the Maya, and that's why we are falling down. But we have to choose the Krishna, and when we choose the Krishna, you will get the real happiness. By performing other activities, they are not we are not going to get happiness. And yes, as there is hunger in the belly, one feels like eating and drinking, and he become happy by accepting everything. So, like, uh, so similarly, we have to develop this desire to render service to Lord Krishna. Then only this loving devotional service going to come. Okay, and yes, Indra, and yeah, we have to develop the strong desire to engage in devotional service. Why we have to develop this strong desire? Because like we are getting the different bodies, we are transferring from this body to another body because of our desires, like because we want to gratify our senses. So like Krishna is so merciful, so like yes, I have to gratify my senses by like eating too much things, so like he will make me some animals, or like I have to gratify my senses by sleeping a lot, so he will give me animal body in which like I can enjoy the lot of like a lot of sleep, because in this human body, like you cannot sleep more than 12 hours or like more than 24 hours. So he will give us the body favorable for like gratify our senses. So like when we have the strong desire, oh, I have to serve the Lord Krishna, I have to I also have to render the transcendental loving service. So Krishna like make the condition favorable. Okay, there will be little testing phase, but after that Krishna will make the things favorable, so that uh, that you can get the devotee association and you are able to render the services. Okay. And yes, like for the pure devotees, like who are always engaged in a transcendental loving service, like nothing is considered impossible. We have seen the example of Durvasa Muni and like who envy the Ambrish Maharaja. And like at the end of this chapter, this paragraph, like this is so wonderful. Like the Yamunacharya wrote in a Stotra Ratna in a 46 sloka that, oh Lord, those who keep themselves independent of your service are the helpless and work on their own account. They receive no support from the superior authority. Therefore, I long for the time I shall engage fully in your transcendental loving service without any desire for material satisfaction, without being confined to the material plane. And when I am engaged in unalloyed devotional service, I will enjoy the actual spiritual life. So yes, like when we are rendering service to Lord Krishna, then like we are depending on Lord Krishna, and like when we are engaged ourselves in our family business, like in preaching, then Krishna will provide you all the assets, and when we act according to the Lord Krishna, Krishna will provide everything. Krishna will take care of your everything, your needs, and like Krishna will provide the support. But other hand, like we are not taking the Krishna's shelter, we are acting whimsically, we are uh, like and we are not doing the what things we need to do, like we are simply distract ourselves for the sense gratification, and by living our goal of human life to develop the love for Lord Krishna, then Krishna will not do anything now, because Krishna has given you independence, and like we are choosing the material thing. So yes, like we have to take the shelter, then Krishna will take care of everything. It's like a small child. When we hold the hands of a father, then father will provide you everything: food, shelter, clothes. Like even he takes care of your finances. Like he sends you, he takes care of your every needs. But like when the child says, okay, like I don't have to take the shelter of you, but I will manage it independent, so it become hard for us. So like a child cannot take responsibility. So we are the childs of Lord Krishna by simply by like saying this, like I don't want you, and like I can do everything like independently. We are simply putting ourselves in a distress. So like we have to pray to Lord Krishna, always keep me engaged engage me at your lotus feet, and like please I also want the unalloyed devotional service, and like please engage me in your service. So we have to pray to Lord Krishna. So like should we continue the discussion of this, or like should we go to the Mukund Mala Stotra? Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna Mataji Prabhuji. Should we discuss the chapter 29, or should we start the Mukund Mala? Because refreshing also important, na?
Mala Mataji, time is.
Yeah. Okay, tomorrow we will go through this chapter 29 summary, and then we can move to the next chapter, the transcendental pastimes of Radha and Krishna.
Yes.
We still have I think we still have the two chapters more, na? The supreme perfection and then the conclusion. And these books are so like a nectarian. We must go through this like books. Like we should we have to take out points and we have to apply. They shouldn't be whimsical, yeah. Like okay, we are coming and we are going, but there should be change, na? there should be change in ourselves.
Changes there.
Oh, why our attendance is falling down day by day? Like Mata just said, like there are only 5 devotees there, and like today
Yesterday.
also,
Yesterday
yes,
only five.
everyone went for Ayodhya Yatra. What?
I don't know.
Okay. So yes, like yesterday we'll read till I think we have to start 14, 39 or 40.
40 Mataji.
Yes. So we will go through the translation to just to get the flow. So in 38, the greatest wonder in a human society is this: the people are so incorrigible that they reject the life-giving nectar of Lord Narayana's name and instead drink the poison by speaking anything. Okay, like yes, speaking about the Lord Krishna, like glorifying the Lord Narayana, like it's a nectarian and it's going to liberate us. And but instead of drinking, instead of this, like we speak all the other things, like all the material things. So they are compared to drinking the poison. Why? Because like in Shastras there are some verses where they says, like by speaking more, by eating like by overeating and over speaking, our lifespan decreases. So but when we speak about the Lord Krishna, our lifespan increases, because like we are connecting with someone who is the eternal. Okay. So let my relatives all abandon me and my superior condemn me. Still, the surely blissful Govinda names remains in my life. So maybe this is this is given because like our relatives and everyone, like they want us to act according to their will, not and they are not that much satisfied, like because we are trying to serve the Lord Krishna, but they want us to serve them. And like they are also like in previous Mukundmala slokas, it is stated now they are compared to these the sharks and dolphins and like very dangerous creatures, because they are going to steal our wealth which can be engaged in Krishna's service. They are going to steal the time which can be engaged in Krishna's service. So Hare Krishna, Vinod Prabhu, you can start reading.
Okay, Mataji. Hare Krishna. O mankind with arms raised high, I declare the truth. An immortal who chants the names Mukunda, Narsimha, and Janardana day after day, even in battle or when facing death, will come to regard his most cherished ambitions as no more valuable than a stone or a block of wood. Purport. Even those who sincerely endure for self improvement know that it is very hard to quell cherished ambitions. Sometimes these ambitions are so grandiose that we keep them secret, yet we cherish them within. An obscure, untalented man thinks he may one day become the director of the world. An unpublished poet dreams he will become the next Shakespeare, and so on. The materialists are always being encouraged to fan the fires of their ambitions. Even children are encouraged by their parents to get ahead. But pure devotees of the Lord are well aware that all worldly ambitions are useless. Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakura, to instruct us, criticizes his own mind and asks, why are you after fame? Don't you know it is as worthless as the dung of a boar? Sri Raghunatha Dasa Goswami uses an equally graphic metaphor to criticize his mind in his Mana Shiksha, comparing the desire for fame to a filthy dog eater dancing in his heart. Devotees, then, must always be vigilant that the subtle desire for name, fame, and high position, technically called pratishtha, does not arise within the heart, since it blocks pure love for Krishna from entering there. In contrast to a devotee, an impersonalist finds it impossible to cleanse his heart completely of materialistic ambitions. Even after he subdues some of the grosser ambitions, he still maintains the impossible wish to become God. Srila Prabhupada called this desire to become one in all respect with the absolute truth the last snare of Maya, and the demigods in the prayers to Krishna while he was still in the womb of Devaki have given the last word on the impersonalist so-called liberation of merging with the absolute truth. O lotus-eyed Lord, although non-devotees who accept severe austerities and penances to achieve the highest position may think themselves liberated, their intelligence is impure. They fall down from their position of imagined superiority because they have no regard for your lotus feet, Bhagavatam 10.2.32. King Kulisheshwara advises us how to rid ourselves of all material ambitions. We should chant the holy name of God, Mukunda, Narsimha, and Janardana. These are all names of Krishna and us, and as such, they are contained within the Maha Mantra. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Chanting the names of Krishna awakens one's love for him, and then all one's material ambitions vanish. Sri Prabhupada used to say that just as when someone gets $1,000,000 of his $10 and $100 problems are automatically solved. So when we attain pure love for Krishna, all our petty material needs and desires pale to insignificance. Chanting the names of the Lord in pure ecstatic love puts the devotee in direct touch with the wonderful forms, qualities, and pastimes of the Lord. In that state, the devotee is fully satisfied and loses all traces of egoistic ambitions. He becomes happy simply to worship, serve, and be with the Supreme Personality of Godhead. The history of Dhruva Maharaja illustrates the purifying power of Krishna consciousness. Dhruva sought out the Supreme Lord as a way to obtain the material kingdom. But after he had performed severe austerities and came face to face with Lord Vishnu, he declared, Swamin, Karratho Sami Varnam Na Yase. My dear Lord, I am fully satisfied. I do not ask from you any benediction for material sense gratification. Hari Bhakti Shuddhoya. Love of God is dormant within everyone, and to realize that love is to fulfill the purest ambition. The Vaishnava Acharyas never advise us to try to kill our ambition spirit. Rather, they instruct us to desire only to awaken our taste for pure devotional service. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. So yes, very wonderfully, it is said that yes, we have a lot of material desires, and even when parents here now we are very ambitious and we are very high ambitions. They said, "You go ahead," and but when it comes to spirituality, they said, "Oh, what nonsense you are doing! Like this is not the age, and why you have to put yourself, and why you have to put the restrictions." And but we can see material goals, everyone is there to cheer you, but no one, and even in the society no one is going to cheer up, and they won't say you have to go ahead in the spirituality, but in material goals they will say you have to go ahead. Why? Because when you get the material asides, they know when in a time of crisis, you are the person from whom they can take help for their sense gratification. So everyone is looking for their own selfish things, no? So but yes, the pure devotees think that this worldly says that these worldly ambitions are useless. Why these worldly ambitions are useless? Because okay, I have an ambition, I have to become very great businessman. I should have very big houses, I should have big cars, but these are useless, because I will work day and night for behind becoming mad. and like working behind his ambition. And like when I get everything, then I will like think, okay, I'm working so hard, but I'm not fully satisfied. And like these are useless, because like death can strike us at any moment. And like when death is come, like whatever assets we are gathering, they are going to stay with here only, and we are going to get the another body. Like maybe we are like we again come as a dog or cat or any other animals, like, or a snake, just to protect the wealth, because protect that wealth because of our attachment. So like they don't like appreciate these worldly ambitions, like because they are the useless. They are going to get uh, like we are not going to get like them for the eternal time. They are going to destroy with this body. So like why we are going like after a fame, like even like from the material point of point of view, that like okay, when some there are people, they are going to appreciate you. Okay, you did the great. Okay, what great mass you have achieved. Or like okay, what a great job you have. So they are like like they are speaking very good words, and like you are boasting up, and like you are feeling good by their words. But after some time, like their words may change, like as usual, because this in this Kali Yuga, like these things are very normal. So like we start getting hurt by those things. So like we have to stay the equipoise. Okay, they are saying their things. Okay, I'm concentrated to my work. Okay, they are appreciating me. Like it's okay. If they are criticizing me, it's okay. So we shouldn't go for someone's appreciation and someone's criticism. So like we should know this is my goal and I have to work, and whatever people will say is good or bad, let them say. Okay. So like yes, like this fame like is compared to the duck of a boar, like uh which is very bad, like and also in Rupa Goswami, like criticized the mind in his Mana Shiksha. Mana Shiksha means like teachings to the mind, because we can see like this mind is distracting us from rendering the service to Lord Krishna. Even in a chanting, we can see how mind our diverts. So we have to teach our mind, okay, these are the good things, and you have to choose this, and these are the bad things. You have to abandon this, and like we have to we have to punish the mind. Even the Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur, like in early morning, you have to beat your mind with the broom, and at before sleeping, you have to beat your mind with the slippers. Why? Because like this is the this because of this mind we are not able to perform the devotional service, because like yes, we taken the birth for the colors of life, and in this lifetime, like a mind remember all the things, and in this mind only there are material desires are stored, and all the memories are stored. And because of mind only uh, we are not able to render the service to the Lord Krishna. So yes, the subtle desire for the name, fame, and high position, they are technically known as a pratishtha. Like when they arise in our heart, it blocks the pure love for Lord Krishna. So like we have to give up all the things they are who are blocking the pure love for Lord Krishna. So like even we can see like how like Indra get the pride, even the Brahmaji get the pride in out of their ignorance, no? So like Krishna removed the pride. Krishna don't like the pride and this pratishtha and all things. Like when they start feeling themselves as a great, Krishna don't like the this, because in this, like we lose our real nature, like becoming the servant of the Lord Krishna. So Krishna don't like the pride. So like we shouldn't have this subtle desire, and this automatically come in us. Why it comes? Because of these things only, like we fall from the like a spiritual world to the material world, because we have to try we are trying to copy the Lord Krishna. So, like yes, like Kulshekara, like King Kulshekara also advised us like how we have to get rid of ourselves of this material ambition, simply by the chanting the names. Like we will awaken the love of Lord Krishna. And like like there is one shloka in the Bhagavad Gita, no? Like when you get the higher taste, like you will easily able to leave the lower taste. And even the Prabhupada is giving the example that like If you have $1 million, then like a $10 problem or $100 problems get automatically solved. So when we have when you get the pure devotional service, all of this material desires and everything like is taken care. But for that we have to chant the holy name. Like, but we may think like, oh, we are the chanting the holy name for last like 4 or 5 years or like from long time, but we are still we are not getting love, because like we are doing it with offenses. We have to chant the holy name without the offenses, and like how we have to remove the offenses by increase our hearing and like by following four regulative principles. Like whatever, like beyond the chanting, whatever spiritual activities we are doing, like we are doing so that like it's going to help us to chant the pure name of Lord Krishna. And we can also see from the Bhagavatam, like Dhruva Maharaja was like performing the extreme penances because he wanted a kingdom bigger than his grandfather. And like he performed the penances, but as soon as he take the darshan of a Vishnu, he become the fully satisfied. And like from his material desire, his desire changes to spiritual desire, that I have to become the pure devotee of you, and he don't want a kingdom. So yes, Krishna will give you, but like Krishna also give you everything. Like, but when you are engaging in it in Krishna's service, and like when Krishna is giving you, so like you are not getting away from Krishna. So Krishna has like a great plans, and like we simply have to trust in Krishna's plan. And our focus should be on our efforts, not on like what going to happen in my in my future, or like in like what happened in our lamentation for the past things. We shouldn't do that. We have to focus on the present, and like we have to try to render the service to Lord Krishna. And so Vaishnava Acharyas never advise to uh, try to kill our ambitious spirit, rather than instruct us to desire only to awaken our taste for the pure devotional service. Like, yes, we don't have to kill our ambition. Na? Like in material people, like what ambition they have, I want this and that, like all are the material concept. And we know that like with the time, everything is going to destroy. So like why we have to ambitious about something which is going to destroy within some time. But like devotees are like they are the greatest ambitious person or ambitious spirit. Why? Because like they are not just only thinking about the some time, like uh, they have the real knowledge. Okay, this body is going to sustain for next 45 40 60 years. I have to work as much, like I am going to maintain myself, and like I have to work in a such a way that like I can like do my prescribed duty. I can maintain my body. I can maintain my family or someone who is a dependent on me. But at the same time, I'm able to perform my spiritual duties, because this is the primary thing, and other are the secondary things. So like these are greatest people, because they don't only have the ambition for next 40 60 years, but they have the ambitions for the eternal time. They have the ambitions to serve the Lord Krishna, who is the greatest personality. So yes, like we have to become a very ambitious, like we have to become so ambitious that like we should we are like we should work for that ambition every day through our sadhana, because our goal is very big. You can see like this devotee this yogis and devotees, they perform a lot of austerities to reach that to reach simply to go even in a brahmin, or simply to take the darshan of a Vishnu. But like we are not doing the sadhana with that spirit, like because it is easily available. But it is very easy to chant the 16 round, get up early morning, and we have to hear for 30 minutes, we have to chant for we have to read his books at least for the 1 hour. Like 30 minutes are taken care here now in the reading club. Rest 30 minutes we can manage, like take the 10-minute break, or like take the 15-minute break, and like you can within 2 or 3 sessions, like even the 5-minute break, if you accumulate 4 or 5 times 5 minutes, then also you can accomplish that. So we don't have to give the excuses, but we have to find the so uh, we can perform like, or we can follow the instructions of Lord Krishna. So Hare Krishna everyone, we can end here. Vancha kalpatarubhyascha kripa sindhubhya eva च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो अनंतकोटि वैष्णववृंद की जय श्रीला
जय श्री
प्रभुपाद की
प्रभात
जय.
की जय.
Hare Krishna, anyone know like why
Yeah. आपकी
Anyone has idea?
आपकी आवाज नहीं आई माता जी, बीच में कट गई।
Hare